How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to talk about this small sandblast cabinet that I purchased from Amazon, and I'm going to be putting it together and showing you guys how to do that. And I'm going to show you guys how I'm hooking it up to a large air compressor that you see behind me. There are also a few modifications that I made to this sandblast setup, and I'm going to show you guys what those are. And once we get everything set up correctly, I'm going to be testing this out for the first time and attempting to sandblast this motorcycle part. So before we start putting this thing together, I want to talk about why I'm using this. So I'm a YouTuber and my channel is all about building and customizing dirt bikes and other motorcycles. And I just needed a small sandblast cabinet so that I could strip down smaller parts and coat them using cerakote or powder coat. But my point is, I'm not doing this for a profession or a living, and this setup is just to demonstrate something you could do in your home as a hobbyist or like I'm doing. I don't intend to be using this sandblaster every day or anything close to that. Let me give you guys a closer look at this cabinet. It's made by OEM Tools. It's about 14 to 16 inches tall. Let's go ahead and open it up. All right. This box does come with a light inside, and the box also comes with this air filter on the right side for vacuum extraction. And I have a new vacuum that I picked up for that, so we'll be installing that later, talking about that. And inside the box, I've already started to hook some stuff up. This is where the air comes in, again on the right side. And it goes up into this gun that comes with the box. Has different size nozzles right here for different flow. And this other hose right here feeds down to the bottom. I'm gonna hook it up in a second, and this is what's gonna suck up the media, which I'll be using some aluminum oxide media. And here's where the gloves are. Over here we have another air vent. So this is useful when you are using the vacuum extraction. It would be a vacuum in here if you didn't have this vent, which allows air to flow in but not out. So you're not going to get any debris flying out the back. Here's the light switch right over here. This sandblaster requires 10 CFM at 100 PSI. So that is the reason why I had to get this massive Husky 60-gallon air compressor. Almost none of the 30 gallons would be able to keep up with the demands of this box. But looking over here, you can see that it has 11.5 SCFM at 90 PSI. So this thing should work great for any home sandblasting applications. The compressors this size do require a 220 volt hookup for power, so you won't be able to plug it straight into the wall, and you're going to have to connect it to a stronger power source. I'm over at my fuse box right now, and we have this power wire running straight into one of these connections. It's this one right here. So that's a pretty common option that you'll see online people do. They hook it straight up to the fuse box. We tested the air compressor yesterday and it is working, but I have a small leak that I discovered later right at this connection here. And what I'm gonna do is take this off and put some Loctite around it, put it back on, let it dry, and that should form a good seal. Now I'm going to show you guys exactly the things you need to operate this sandblaster. So the first thing was I bought this 1/2-inch connector because the compressor doesn't come with that. So that connection is going to need this reducer right here. This goes from a 1/2-inch to a 3/8 hookup, and that's where this 3/8 air line comes into play. This has 1/4-inch fittings, but it is a 3/8 line. Gosh darn it, I just realized that this is a 3/8 to a 1/4-inch, so it's actually too small for this 1/2-inch. Don't know what I was doing earlier when I bought this, but I'm still gonna need it because this hooks up to the 3/8 air line, but then I'm gonna need another 1/2-inch to 3/8 to go right here. You can never just go to Home Depot once. It's always 3 trips. You guys know this. But I'll go ahead and do that later. Let's keep hooking up this sandblast cabinet. On the other end of this air hose, we're going to be connecting this inline filter, and what this does is it separates oil and water from the air. And this is particular to sandblasters because we can't have any moisture in the airline or it'll start clogging up the media in the hoses. And I'm just realizing because the flow goes in that direction, I'm going to need to get a double-ended connector for this side as well. And then after the filter, it's going to connect to this regulator so that we keep our PSI under 90 for this sandblast cabinet. Then our regulator is going to connect right here and we'll be good to go. Right now I'm going to finish the assembly of this sandblaster. At this point, the sandblast cabinet is 100% ready to use. The only thing it needs is the media added. In order to hook up this air hose, I'm going to need to get another adapter along with 3 different connectors to connect the regulator and the filter to the box. So I'm going to go make some moves and I'll be right back with all these parts we need. Alright, we're finally back after going to a bunch of places. I ended up having to buy this air compressor accessory kit just so that I could get this female to female and these 2 male to male adapters. And all 3 of those came in this air compressor kit, but it's whatever because this kit comes with a bunch of other attachments that I'll probably use in the future, including that quick release right there. And this goes right into here. So I'm going to seal these up correctly using some tape or Loctite. And it's dumb, I didn't even notice this, but the sandblaster kit comes with this tape so you can wrap it around the threads like we see here. Because I realized that this Loctite is definitely a permanent solution. You're going to need a lot of heat and force to break this loose if you ever wanted to change it. But I've only put Loctite on the connection here that goes directly into the sandblaster and the connection that goes straight into the air compressor, which both of those I don't plan on removing anytime. Okay, let's get back to it. I'm going to hook this air hose up, everything up, and then we're going to add the media into this blaster. compressor is ready to go, but I have another leak and it's coming from where this white tape is. I just tried to seal it off. Obviously it didn't work. The part that I Loctited here is okay. It's leaking from the joint right into the main insert here. So it's only leaking a tiny amount, and to fix that I would have to drain the whole system. I think there's plenty of pressure in here to try this and give it a test run. So now I'm gonna add my aluminum oxide media to the sandblaster. So there you have it, guys. The part came out excellent for a first try. I'll be increasing the PSI a little bit, maybe bump it up to, let's say 90 or maybe even 100. I was running about 75 or 80 with this part, but I'm really happy with the finish you guys saw. And my overall first impressions of the Blast Box are pretty good. I would say that this thing is the most affordable you could find. It is a smaller size blaster and it works good. It has a few issues that I need to work out, which we can see right here. Just about every corner is leaking sand. So it's definitely worse on this side, and this back one is leaking like crazy, but that's where it's coming from. These legs either got banged around or they just didn't do a great job sealing it up. Well, that's for sure. But it's all good. I'm just gonna sweep that media up and reuse it actually. And as of now, the box is working fine. I want to point out that I removed the plastic tip on this vacuum hose, and now when it sits in here, it gets a lot better suck on the filter. So after changing that, the dust pickup is a lot better and it's a lot easier to see now. I can actually see the part and pretty much blast consistently. But it does get a little foggy still, so I'm gonna work on getting a secure fit here, and that should do the trick. I don't have a dust cyclone yet, but I'll show you guys what it looks like inside of this vac. I know it's not gonna be a lot. Okay, looking inside the vac, this is all the media that got sucked up. So definitely just a tiny little bit, and because this is brand new, I can just go ahead and reuse it again. The box is not leaking from the bottom, it's just the sides right now, and some dust will blow up and out of the cracks around here, so I may need to seal that a little bit better too. I think I'm gonna pick up a respirator too. I'm gonna need it for when I start powder coating and cerakoting, so gonna need it anyways. And this box does let a little bit of dust out, like I said. Also, when you open the box, there's some dust that comes out, and I just think I probably shouldn't be breathing that. I'll give you guys one last look inside. I was getting almost totally consistent flow with the media, but as you can see, it gets a little empty in the middle and kind of hangs up on the sides here a lot. So I might need to figure something out with that. I put all 25 pounds of media in here and it's not enough still. I think this box could easily use anywhere from 30 to maybe even 35 pounds of media. And I think that'll help the media feed back down easier, but this will work. You can see this filter has picked up quite a bit of debris as well and probably needs to be cleaned before every use. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I hope it was helpful to some of you, answered some questions, or maybe even encouraged you to get a sandblaster set up yourself. I'll be doing another video in the future with more of a review on this setup and the changes that I make to improve it. I think that'll be really helpful to a lot of you guys if you do want to get this set up. And also, if you're interested, I'll be making some videos soon about doing some cerakote and also powder coating on these parts that I'm sandblasting. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and comment. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. I'm probably leaving out some details here. And for my Full Throttle Films family, YZ450 video is coming next. You guys get ready for it.